The metric that most consultants are obsessing over on LinkedIn, impressions, literally means someone scrolled past your post for 3 seconds. They read nothing. They felt nothing. And yet so many of us are chasing that number like it's proof we're doing something right. Today's guest figured that out, shifted her entire approach, and watched clients, podcast interviews, a Forbes feature, and a TEDx talk follow. My name is AJ Riedel. This is Thriving Through, the podcast where each week I have real conversations with self-employed consultants about what it really takes to build a profitable, sustainable, and fulfilling consulting practice. My guest today is Sarka Risch, a LinkedIn strategy coach who left 20 plus years in corporate sales and marketing with no savings, no plan B, and no experience running a business. Just a purpose, a growth mindset, and a willingness to do the uncomfortable thing again and again. In this conversation, Sarka breaks down the 3-pillar LinkedIn strategy she uses with her clients to attract business without pitching, explains why building a community on the platform will outperform any content calendar, and shares the mindset tools she uses to push past fear and perfectionism on her way to becoming a published Forbes contributor and TEDx speaker. Whether you've been posting on LinkedIn with nothing to show for it, or you've avoided the platform because you're not sure how to make it work for your consulting practice, this episode is for you. Let's dive in. Welcome to this episode of the Thriving Through podcast. Today, I'm delighted to have Sarka Risch on the episode. I hope I said that right. Sarka, it's so good to have you here.
Thank you very much, AJ. Yeah, you said it correctly, and I am also really grateful to be here. Thank you.
Wonderful. As you know, the episode is called Thriving, or the podcast is called Thriving Through. So, what does thriving through mean for you? Or what does thriving mean?
Yeah, that's a good question. And it's actually also how I help my clients, but also how I went through and how I built my business. Because I was an employee and I was in sales, in marketing, working for over 20 years. And I was just living. And one day I had just thought that came into my mind. And it was like, where do you see yourself in 20 years? And I didn't have an answer. So I just worked and went to the gym and went on holidays, and that was it. And then I started working together with my mentor, and thanks to her, I found my purpose, I found my vision, my mission, and then I realized that I wasn't living with purpose and I wasn't thriving through. I was, just living from day to day. And that's actually how I started to thrive on LinkedIn with my clients and to help them as well.
Wonderful. So tell us a little bit more about your path to becoming a self-employed consultant.
Yeah, so as I said, I wasn't living with purpose. I was an employee, and actually, I didn't feel an appreciation from my bosses as an employee. But once I became an entrepreneur, I realized that it was in myself. So everything starts from within us. And I realized that I didn't believe in myself, actually. And that was what's also moved the needle. And also, after starting to go on this path without any entrepreneurial experiences, without a plan B, without any savings, I just started. I just wanted to realize my why and to help people, to inspire them. I became the person who started realizing my why, but also I let my curiosity and my intuition guide me.
Tell me a little bit more. You said you've talked about it a couple times, find your purpose. What does living in purpose mean to you, and what is your purpose?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. So my my purpose is actually to help and inspire people to become their better vision or the best vision of themselves. And purpose is actually my big goal. It's of course it could be also the vision, but it's for me it's different. So I found like it's not the same as the vision. The vision is the big picture, but the purpose is the motivation that drives me, that my engine, that let me get up every day from the bed and to realize my dreams. And I really want to make an impact. I really want to help people to understand why it's so important to find their voice on LinkedIn and to build a strong community to realize their dreams. Because so many people think like, yeah, LinkedIn is not so important, or it's just, I don't want to show myself, I don't believe in myself. And it's actually what I went through. And that actually, it's also why I want to help others.
So your primary, your consulting practice focuses on LinkedIn, making LinkedIn work as a lead gen tool, or how would you characterize the service you offer?
Yes, I coach and train clients to understand how LinkedIn works strategically and also with a growth mindset to realize their goals. And the goals are to get clients or to get new employees or also to become a thought leader.
So tell us, in this 4 years, tell us a story or two about the biggest challenges you've faced building your practice and how you've overcome them.
Yeah, so my biggest challenge was actually fear. So I had really fears of the unknown future, of it was the fear of not a secure life. Like once I left the corporate world, suddenly I realized, yeah, it's myself who is responsible for my life, who is managing my life, who has to really be confident in, and believe in myself and trust the process. So I started meditating with guided meditations from Dr. Joe Dispenza. I still was working with my mentor, and I also, since then, actually, since ever, I invested in myself since I became an entrepreneur. And this was actually what helped me. But also, I realized that I have to acknowledge the fear and then I have to let it go. But it's easy to
Mm.
say and it's different when you do it. So I also woke up during the night and I had these fears. But then I realized when I talk to the fear, when I say, okay, you are there, and then I've started to focus on what I really want, what I truly want, what is my desire. I focus on abundance, on solutions, and suddenly the opportunities came to me. So it was actually that suddenly I started embracing the unknown future and to enjoying it. And I realized that letting go is so powerful because really it opens up for so many new opportunities. And that's actually why we should also trust the process and really have this faith.
Trusting the process and acknowledging the fear, and those are not, they sound so simple and so logical, and they're so hard to do.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So you also, so another thing, when we talked earlier, you talked about perfectionism, and that's another thing. So you've overcome not believing in yourself and being scared of to put yourself out there, and perfectionism. And what came out of as you overcame, tell me how you overcame perfectionism and then let's talk about the TEDx talk that came out of that.
Yes, yes. Once I had one event or one experience, actually two. One was where one of my friends jumped under the train, and she did it because she was a perfectionist, and she was actually talking the day before with me about this. How can she manage everything? And this was a strong experience for me. And another one was 20 years later when I came to my ex-boss to ask for the first time for a pay raise. And he actually didn't want to see me, he didn't want to appreciate me. And it really broke me. And after this, I realized that it was not immediately after this. It was actually when I became an entrepreneur. I realized that I was a perfectionist. I always wanted to be perfect. My parents wanted me to have a perfect life. But then I realized it doesn't help me. So I really started to see my worth, to focus on solutions, to master challenges, to embrace them, embrace the fears. And once I changed my mindset and to abundance mindset, um, yeah, the new opportunities came to me, and I really had different life, different results in my business with my clients, which I also help them when I see that someone is doesn't believe in themselves and in the results. So I give them some exercises to change that, and it really works. So um, yeah, I mean the part of the journey is also taking risk because without risk, I found it doesn't work, and also to be curious. I'm so curious, and to have courage. So these are also qualities that I applied and I lived. And I didn't live them actually so much when I was an employee, but I started really to realize them when I became an entrepreneur. And I really started to building this strong network and to ask about people and to build true connections. And it was the true myself. It was really my soul that was talking to people and really connecting with them. And that's actually how I work with people also on LinkedIn, and also what I apply for myself on LinkedIn.
Well, that's beautiful. Beautiful. So speaking of LinkedIn, you mentioned when we talked earlier how you discovering how powerful LinkedIn is and finding inspirational and inspiring people on the platform changed your life. Can you walk us through that transformation?
Yeah, actually, I signed up on LinkedIn in 2012, and I was scared. I didn't know how to use the platform, how to talk to people. I wasn't posting at all. I wasn't commenting, writing DMs. And in 2020, my intuition told me, my curiosity told me to take my first LinkedIn course. I did also a further education in digital marketing, and then I took an online LinkedIn course. It was my first one, and I didn't know why, but I did it. And it inspired me so much that I started working with American coach, a LinkedIn coach, and actually, from then, from summer 2021, really working. I worked with different coaches, and currently I have two LinkedIn coaches for sales copywriting, where I really learn and apply, and also um, get my own experience. Um, so it's um, it's it's also the investments in myself that help me, but also my clients, and also the understanding of the platform, how the platform works, and how we human beings work, because it's also about psychology. So
Mhm.
for me, there are like three pillars of LinkedIn. So the one is the profile, the personal profile, the LinkedIn company page. Another one is building an active community. And the third one is the content, which actually comments are part of it. And it all starts with the growth mindset, but also with the right strategy. So that's actually how I start with my clients. And once I applied this strategy for myself first, I realized really how powerful the platform is. So many opportunities open up. Clients came to me. I met so many inspiring people. You included also. And I was asked for podcast interviews. I met people then when I was traveling. I met them in person, and I was surprised how the connection was there. How I was really surprised that we understood each other. I thought, yeah, we knew each other for years, but actually we knew each other from LinkedIn. So when you truly believe in the platform, in the power of the platform, when you have the growth mindset, you look for opportunities, you see the solutions or look for solutions. And when you have also interest in people, which is truly really important,
Mm-hmm.
and when you have the right strategy and the right mindset, you will get the results. It needs also patience, but it's amazing because on the platform there are so many different people, so many leaders from different industries and decision makers, and yeah, it's really the best platform also for lead gen.
It is, yes. So tell me the pillars again.
So the first one is the LinkedIn profile, the personal profile, but also the LinkedIn company page. The
Okay.
second one is the active community, including comments and DMs, which are really important. And the third one is content, which actually comments are already part of it, because if we write strategic comments, it's like a mini post.
Okay. Good. So tell me a little bit more about, I mean, I've heard of the content piece, but the community, I'm really intrigued by that because that is kind of a different approach. I mean, a lot of people talk, and I do in my program about using LinkedIn DMs for outbound. It's a great way to create relationships to get leads. Then you can start talking to them. Tell me more about what community means to you on LinkedIn.
Yeah, community for me are really people who are keen on me, who are inspiring, people also who inspire me. And for me, there are like three different type of people, like my target audience, then the people from my or from similar industry. It means marketing, sales, LinkedIn, or also mindset coaching. And the third one are actually inspiring people who it could be from broad topics, but people who really inspire me. And I have to say, I also learn a lot from different people when I read their post. So this is how I define it. And then for me, it's so important to build these connections, and I start to build it through comments, because when I comment first on people's posts, but I comment because I want, I don't comment because I have to. So
Mm-hmm.
then I appreciate them, and then I comment also for the community. Then I start to build rapport. And after a while, people reach out to me, or I send them a connection request, and then we start the conversation in DMs. Because in DMs, yeah, you have the people in front of you and you are talking one-on-one.
Right, right. So it starts with commenting. And then
Yes,
so you establish a relationship with them through comments, and then you send a connection request.
yes. Of course, there are still around 90, 95% of people that are not regularly active. So people who are only, for example, reposting their company page or who are not active at all, then of course I start directly with the DM, but I still want to find something in common. I still want to build a real relationship based on emotions, on emotional connection first. And I don't pitch at all because, yeah, there are so many pitches on LinkedIn, and it's all about people, and people buy from people who they know, like, and trust. And we have to build the trust first. And if someone is only talking about themselves in DMs, yeah, it's not, it doesn't build trust.
Right. Absolutely. And I'd say 99% of the people that use DMs that are trying to reach people through the DMs are doing it completely wrong.
Yes, yes. And
Which,
that's a pity also for the platform, because then there are really many people that are saying, no, it's only pitching, I don't like this, and it's not about this. It's about the community.
right. I want to go on to something else that you've talked about. You've mentioned a couple times. You have, since the beginning, have consistently invested in coaches and mentors throughout your 4-year journey. So, what drove that decision to invest in yourself, and how has it impacted your business growth?
Actually, the first investment I made was in my mentor, and she helped me really with my entrepreneurial journey. And actually, it was my curiosity, intuition that guided me. And also, I perhaps it's a bit of the perfectionism, but I let it go. So, but I really want to develop myself, to work on myself, and I found it also crucial as a business owner to learn every day and to grow every day. So it was actually the desire to get better and to know more and more, because I found once we learn something, and also LinkedIn as a platform, it develops. So it's really truly important to stay updated and to know all about the changes, and also how people behaves, because the behavior change also the algorithm and so on. And now the AI is everywhere, so it's also important to know about these trends. So yeah, for me the investments are, so I do both. I invest in myself, in my personal development, in my mindset, and I invest also in my LinkedIn sales marketing skills.
Got it. Got it. You mentioned that you've shifted your focus from vanity metrics like impressions to meaningful metrics like comments, saves, and relationships. Tell me more about that. Why are impressions vanity metrics? And what should we be looking at?
Yeah, many people are looking for impressions, but actually one impression is or means that I saw more than 50% of posts during 3 seconds. So it means I scroll down and it's one impression, depends how long the post is, if it's a vertical picture, for example, or video, but it's actually scrolling down and I read nothing. So then it's also the question how the impressions are really measured. So when we build a strong relationship with people, there are more worse than a vanity metrics, because we do business with people. Behind every company is our people, and the relationship they need also to be nurtured, and they grow. So we never know. Perhaps today we talk to someone, and in 1 month or half a year, it would be amazing partnership, amazing deal. So that's why it's so important to also look after the people we are already connected with, not only with the new people. They are important,
Mhm.
yes, but like to reconnect and to really take care from my heart, because yeah, people feel it if we don't really want to help, if we only want the money, and the money follows if we truly want to help from our heart.
How do you keep track of? So you've made connections, you've had some DM conversations with somebody. How do you keep track of all of those relationships so that because the key is to keep that relationship going. How do you do that?
Yes, I have lists where I put my prospects or some, yeah, like people who I want to exchange or really that inspire me. And yeah, I track it on my own. And also I make lists directly in LinkedIn of yeah, of the three parts, like of the potential clients, ICPs, of people from my industry, and then also inspiring people. And I save them directly in the browser, so I can also go through and see their posts. This is more about posts. But regarding the DMs, yeah, I really try to do lists and to be aware in which state I am with them, which stadium. And of course, there's also the Sales Navigator that helps a lot, but many people don't want to invest so much in the Sales Navigator, so you can do it also without the Sales Navigator. But Sales Nav really helps also with the lists.
Right. So you can create lists in LinkedIn without Sales Navigator?
No, you can't. For this,
Yeah.
you really need Sales Nav, but you can create lists that you without Sales Navigator that you save in your browser for the posts that you can see if the people who you are interested in, if they post it, so you can go in the search, put it the search for posts, and then which follower or which connections, and then save the list under the favorites in your browser, and then you will see yeah, the recent post, for example.
Okay. Good. Your method was featured on Forbes, which is really like, whoa. How did that come about, and what impact did that external validation or social proof, like that's supreme social proof, what impact did that have on your business and your confidence?
Yeah, so I it was my big goal actually. Also, so my big goal is really to make impact, to inspire people. It's my purpose as well. So, and I really got this idea to be featured in Forbes. So I started building again a relationship with a person from with Jodie Cook from Forbes, and I was in her comments, and yeah, I'm still, but I'm not doing it because I want something from her. I'm doing it because I really like her. I like really her mindset and uh, what is she doing, how is she doing this. So it's for me, it resonates. And yeah, then one day she approached me and she asked me if I would like to be mentioned in Forbes. And of
Wow.
course, of course, yes. So yeah, then I had to share my opinion on some thoughts um, on her post, and yeah, and then I was featured there. And how does it help me? Yes, it's social proof. That's true. And yeah, people are really they appreciate it. They I would say it's a credential. It helps your credibility, and it qualifies to also qualifies also your expertise. And yeah, of course, I was really grateful for that.
Yes. So you have two forms of social proof that a lot of people don't. You were featured on Forbes and you've done your TEDx talk. So how did the TEDx talk come about?
It's also a good question. This was also another big goal, another big desire. I really wanted to inspire people again, and I applied, and I was substitute. So I thought, okay, I'm a substitute, so yeah, I let it go. And suddenly I got a phone call and they asked me if I would like to give a TEDx talk next week, so in 1 week.
Oh my gosh.
And and of course I said yes, because it was such a big dream of mine. So they asked me, yeah, you can sing about it. And I, no, I don't have to sing about it. I want to do it. So and then I still had my clients that I worked for and with. So I couldn't say like, oh, I have my TEDx talk. I had already my appointments booked. So I had really 3 days to prepare. And yeah, to be honest, I visualized it before, and I really feel this stream. But then when I was there, when I was at the rehearsal, I forgot the text. I was the only one who forgot the text because every other people, they were already preparing like 6 months before the event.
Hmm.
But yeah, I could do the rehearsal once more. I talked to the technicians and it was all good. I had to wait. They had some problems with the lightning. And yeah, I said I had enough time so I can wait. So I could do it once more, and actually twice, because I forgot the text another time. So at the third time it went well. And before the event, I was the second one, and I was sitting there in the room, and I was really visualizing how I'm standing on the stage and people applauding me, and I visualized the fear or the stress, or yeah, the fear actually, um, that came down uh, from me as as a waterfall. And I was just imagining this and really visualizing myself on the stage. Yeah, and it went well. Really, I didn't I didn't forget it. And at the end, there was another room, because it was a conference room, and in another conference room there was an opera singer, and she started to sing. You can hear it actually when you really carefully listen to the talk. And I heard it, and actually through my head went like, okay, focus on yourself, focus on your stuff. So I really focused on that. I started not listening to her, but it was quite loud. I heard it. And yeah, but I made it, and I forgot something because yeah, it was like it drew shortly my attention away to this opera singer, but yeah, I made it. And after this, in the pause, in the break, people came to me and they told me how much I inspired them. And this was so rewarding. Really, I didn't expect it. And it was like, oh my God, it was really, this was the best moment actually of the TEDx talk.
That's cool. That's very cool. What I really loved about your story is you were a substitute, and then you get this call, and they say, think about it. And you say, I don't need to think about it. I mean that is that all of the mindset work that you've been doing is kind of epitomized in that moment. It's like, everybody else had 6 months to prepare and probably gave their TEDx talks 25 million times. You're doing it 3 months, like 3 weeks, or you have 3 days to prepare. And I love that. I
That's
love
my
that
courage,
story.
yes.
Yes,
An
yes,
alignment. Yeah.
absolutely. I want to switch to looking into the future. Where do you see your practice in 3 to 5 years?
That's a good question. I really want to make more impact, inspire more people. So I really want to focus more on speaking. I'm already doing it in the workshops that I'm giving in companies, in schools or at universities, also in the public. I want to do this more, and yeah, to inspire more people as possible, and also yeah, to train people that they really see the importance of building a personal brand and also employer brand, and how big the opportunities are when they realize it, or once they realize it, that yeah, it's really truly powerful, and also building a strong LinkedIn community, how helpful this is. Um, doesn't matter if they are looking for a job or if they are looking for business opportunities or looking for clients, but they understand when they use LinkedIn the right way with a growth mindset, the opportunities just open up.
More impact. Yeah, I love that. So as we start to wrap up the interview, what is one book, podcast, or resource that's been invaluable to your consulting practice?
So a podcast that I listen to. Yeah.
Podcast, book, or resource. Yeah, whatever, what's been most valuable to you.
So if it's book, then it's actually the Shoe Dog from Phil Knight. Once it inspires me because he went through all these challenges, all these fears, and he was every time on the edge between thriving and between like totally failing. And he worked on himself, so it's such an inspiring book, and it's really written in a very nice way, and the stories there are so captivating. And also it's there's a relationship to Japan, and I love Japan, so it's for me it was a book that I read like yeah in some days. So this was the book that inspired me a lot. And regarding podcasts, I really love the podcast from Lewis House because yeah, he brings also people from different industries with growth mindset, and he is also strong his himself on mindset. So this is really yeah what I love, and I would add their meditations because I am a big fan of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and it's also how I invest in myself. I visited 5 of his retreats, and meditating with his meditations also changed my life.
I've heard so much about him, and I don't have never gone to one of his retreats. That's on my bucket list. And this is the most important question. It's our wrap-up question. How can listeners connect with you if they want to learn more about you and your work?
So just go to LinkedIn, SARKRRISCH, and you will find me there and connect with me, send me a message. And my new website will be ready soon. So also sarkarisch.com, you will find more there. And I look
Okay,
forward to hearing from you and to meeting inspiring people.
wonderful. And the when is your website going to be ready?
I hope in the next month.
Okay. Well, this when by the time this podcast airs, I can add your website address into the show notes as well as your LinkedIn URL.
Thank you.
So,
I appreciate
so,
it.
so Sarka, thank you so much for being my guest on the Thriving Through podcast today. And for all of you listening out there, keep thriving through.
Thank you so much, AJ. I appreciate you.
Sarka, thank you so much. This conversation was exactly the kind of real, no fluff insight that this podcast is all about. If there's one thing I want every consultant listening to take away, it's this: the clients are already on LinkedIn. The question is whether you're showing up in a way that builds real trust or if you're just adding to the noise. Sarka has shown us the difference since she's built a business that proves it works. You can connect with Sarka directly on LinkedIn. Just search Sarka Risch, SARKARISCH. We'll have the link in the show notes along with the other resources she mentioned today. And if this episode was valuable to you, please take a moment to leave a review, share it with a fellow consultant who needs to hear it. It's going. And until next time, keep thriving through.